Hello, I'm Noelle Madison with HealthyPlace's blog Living with Adult ADHD. I've been researching OCD and ADHD, and I've come across two completely different schools of thought. On the one hand, they seem to overlap quite a bit. On the other hand, some scientists argue that they're so different that they can't appear together, or if they do, it's extremely rare. I'm skeptical of this school of thought due to my experiences with obsessive thoughts and behaviors, as someone with ADHD, but it does propose some interesting points. For one, it points out that OCD and depression and anxiety affect the executive function part of your brain. That's kind of the managerial part of your brain. And that's something that people with ADHD tend to have a big problem with. So if somebody with OCD or anxiety, for example, were so overwhelmed with their obsessions or fears, that would definitely take up so much of their brain, so they might appear to be unfocused and scattered the way someone with ADHD might. But this perspective also tends to see ADHD through a very narrow lens. It describes people with ADHD as impulsive and risk-taking, whereas somebody with OCD is very restrained and focused and able to be extremely precise. But people with ADHD can seem really restrained if they suffer from a lot of anxiety, and they can also go into hyperdrive when it comes to focusing on something they love. Another issue I have is they talk about the dire consequences of mistaking someone with OCD for someone with ADHD, because stimulants, mostly prescribed to people with ADHD, can make OCD symptoms worse. This is definitely a problem that needs to be addressed, but I would hope that these are not long-term consequences and that the doctors involved can observe the person with ADHD or OCD and see how the stimulants affect them. And I would hope that they would be flexible enough to change the diagnosis or prescription. And I also think it's interesting that they refer to OCD and ADHD as opposites on a spectrum. And I understand what they mean, but I think that the spectrum is not linear. And other researchers suggest that it's more like clusters. There are clusters of symptoms or behaviors, thoughts, tendencies, and it's just not able, you're not able to put it in a box. So I like that idea a bit more, and that seems to fit my experience more. So what do you think about ADHD and OCD occurring together? Do you have experience with one of them or both? And please read my article if you want more information. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much. Bye.